Hi, welcome to the How Do I video series on Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013 R2. My name is Mark Brummel and I'm an MVP for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. I will be presenting how do I build solutions using design patterns in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013 R2. This video is made in collaboration with Plataan, a Microsoft Dynamics Learning Center from Belgium, and Microsoft. At the end of this video you will have an overview of vertical solution building blocks and how to make sustainable design decisions. The objective of this video is to first look at design patterns as a concept, and then we will look at different types of solutions in Microsoft Dynamics NAV. Then we will talk about different types of design patterns and how merging impacts making decisions on your design. Design patterns are common solutions or best practices to solve problems. This is a well-known concept in computer programming and can therefore be applied to Dynamics NAV as well. This video is part of a series around design patterns in Dynamics NAV, and during this video I will reference to other patterns and videos. The design you will choose for your solution will highly depend on the type of solution you are creating. In this video, we will divide solutions in Microsoft Dynamics NAV into 4 categories. The first category are horizontal solutions. This is a feature that does not exist in NAV yet and can be applied across the application. The counterpart is vertical solutions, which enables Microsoft Dynamics NAV to be used in a specific type of company. Other types of solutions are enhancements and tools. Let's look at some examples. Some typical horizontal solutions are workflow, document integration for SharePoint or Dropbox, mobile and web clients, and EDI. Within the NAV community, there are at least a couple of these available, and they are typically easy to integrate with any other solution. Vertical solution tailor NAV for a specific branch, adding typical features that only these users require. Examples are the food industry, transport management, waste and recycling, clothing and apparel, and real estate. Out of the box, Dynamics NAV is designed for trading and manufacturing companies. Some partners provide enhancements to NAV in typical scenarios. These are not typically targeted at specific branches, but are also called feature packs. Some partners provide tooling. These are features that make it easier to do system tasks in production, such as integration, security, application development, BI, or even performance. There are 2 methodologies to build solutions in Dynamics NAV, and the type of solutions determines which methodology to use. The first methodology is loosely coupling, and the second methodology is tightly integrated. Vertical solutions for trading or manufacturing are often more tightly integrated than service-oriented solutions. We will come back to how to decide when to use which later in this video. When it comes to making solutions in Microsoft Dynamics NAV, we cannot just start coding away. Dynamics NAV has a long list of reusable design patterns that can be used to solve many different problems. There are different types of patterns, such as architectural patterns, design patterns, implementation patterns, and within Dynamics NAV we also have a large number of APIs. Let's look at some examples. Architectural patterns are the main elements that define how data is stored in the database using tables and how it moves around using transactions. Examples are master data, documents, journals, and processes. Design patterns are common ways of solving solutions, such as defining unique names, parse data, block entities, or enabling features to run in the job queue. Implementation patterns are techniques for best practices for coding. And APIs are often part of design patterns and are reusable engines that most likely do not change much and are never duplicated. The camera icon indicates that at the time of the recording of this video, there is either a video already published or a video is planned about the pattern. The WordPress icon indicates the same for the wiki on the Microsoft community website. At the time this video is recorded, over 50 patterns are identified in the application, and about half of them are published on the community website. The intention is to publish all 50 design patterns by the end of 2014. When designing a solution, we need to make two decisions. The first decision is to integrate into standard NAV or to create our own solution. When making your own application objects, you need to decide which pattern to use. And when making changes to the base application, you need to design in such a way that it's easy to be extended and merged. To be able to answer the first question, it is important to understand the object hierarchy in Dynamics NAV. Each object in Dynamics NAV, whether it's a table, a code unit or something else, can belong to 4 categories: worldwide objects, country-specific objects, customer-specific objects, or vertical solution objects. As long as an object only belongs to one category, life is easy. If a new version comes, no one has to make decisions. If an object belongs to more than one category, it becomes increasingly difficult if both parties make changes to the object without knowing each other's changes. A less likely conflict would be that Microsoft decides to ship objects with the same functional behavior as the custom object. For example, if Microsoft would ship a workflow solution and we already use an external workflow solution. In that case, we have a functional conflict instead of just an object conflict. Understanding this concept is critical for making design decisions. Let's look at a very simple example application. A customer asks us to implement Dynamics NAV at their squash court. If we look at the design of the solution, and if we would design the solution to be tightly integrated, we could decide to make the squash members customers and the squash courts resources, which are both existing master data in Dynamics NAV. We could use the resource journal to handle reservations, and we could use resources in the sales invoices to do invoices. We would probably have to add some fields here and there to make this work. Another solution, if we want to implement this loosely coupled, would be to make our own master data for squash players and one for squash courts. We could use the journal pattern to implement our own journal line and ledger entries, and we can create an interface to the sales invoice engine in Microsoft Dynamics NAV. If this implementation would be a one-off, this design would probably be an overkill of what we want to achieve. But if we offer this as a multi-tenant cloud solution, it would probably be better. The total cost of ownership determines what is the best approach. Let's look at another example to clarify what we mean with this. What if we would like to implement Dynamics NAV as an external warehouse solution? Traditionally, NAV is strong for trading and manufacturing companies that handle their own items in their own warehouse. Storage and handling in this case is part of the cost of goods sold. In case of an external warehouse, the items we store are not our own. Storage and handling are our main business. If we try to implement this tightly integrated in standard Dynamics NAV, we could create items for each of our customers' items and sales and purchase documents for receiving and shipping. We would then, however, find out that NAV will try to maintain inventory value and that warehouse entries are not very well connected to locations, and receiving and shipping in Dynamics NAV is done in 2 steps. We would have to create an engine that calculates storage invoicing, and if our customer wants to do value-added logistics and transport management, we will find out that these modules don't even exist. Looking at total cost of ownership, the initial design is the least expensive part. The better job we do making correct decisions avoids us having to spend a lot of time and money for upgrading and refactoring, even trying to avoid refactoring. If we go back to our external warehouse example, and if we look at it from a loosely coupled perspective, it would be better to create our own master data in the form of products, and to create our own documents in the form of storage documents and movements. And by creating storage entries, we could create warehouse receipts that can then be invoiced using the standard sales engine in Microsoft Dynamics NAV. And we would still have to create solutions from scratch for value-added logistics and transport management, which will then be interfaced back into our warehouse management solution. But even if we create our own application alongside Dynamics NAV, we are not free of merging and refactoring. Each version of Dynamics NAV has changed design patterns. Design patterns are not carved in stone, and vision change. For example, dimensions were introduced in Dynamics NAV version 3 and then later refactored in Dynamics NAV 2013. If we create our own master data and our own documents, we would have to refactor our own application if we want to be coherent with the design patterns in the standard application. There are a number of ways to keep the impact of merging and refactoring to a minimum, and thus lowering the total cost of ownership. By using atomic coding, hooks and facade patterns, automatic merging can be achieved, limiting the footprint by minimizing changes in the base application. We can also provide hooks in our own design, allowing extensions in the database, for example, by using the transfer custom field pattern. If your solution looks too much like standard Dynamics NAV, don't reinvent the wheel, but extend the base application. But if your solution disables the way the standard application works, it is a typical indication to start making your own objects instead of enhancing the standard application. In the end, it all comes down to the total cost of ownership, both for you as a partner and for your customers. Remember that moving away from a wrongly chosen design pattern to a better one is much more expensive than spending more time to the initial design. But maintaining an incorrect pattern is even more expensive than refactoring. And by using atomic coding, hooks and facade patterns, you can minimize the merge impact. In this video we have learned how to select vertical building blocks in Microsoft Dynamics NAV and what aspects determine the total cost of ownership. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in another episode of the How Do I video series for design patterns in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013 R2.